Let's be honest for a second. Have you ever felt like you are doing everything right, but absolutely nothing is changing? You are putting in the hours, doing the work, but the breakthrough just won't come. Welcome back, everyone, to Uncharted Therapy. If you are tuning in today, consider this your daily dose of therapy, a chance to step out of the frantic rush of the world and just breathe. Today, we are officially kicking off part 7 of building our truck empire here in Euro Truck Simulator 2. But as we hit the asphalt today, we aren't just talking about shifting gears or buying garages. We are talking about a psychological trap that ruins more dreams than actual failure ever will, the trap of instant progress. We have been conditioned to expect overnight success, but real growth is a slow, quiet journey. Over the course of this drive, we are going to break down 9 numbered, essential truths you need to hear if you feel stuck. The illusion of the starting line. The psychology of the dopamine loop. The law of invisible accumulation. The danger of constant comparison. The beauty of the plateau. Rewriting the definition of success. The power of the minimal step. Cultivating a quiet mind. Trusting the horizon. Building a life and building an empire require the exact same thing: steady lane discipline and the patience to log the silent miles. So, settle into the cab, adjust your mirrors, and let's get into today's session. 1. The illusion of the starting line. When you first open Euro Truck Simulator 2, you don't start with a massive fleet of custom trucks or a sprawling network of continental garages. You start as a hired hand, driving someone else's vehicle, delivering cargo across modest distances for a tiny paycheck. The modern mindset looks at this starting position and immediately demands an upgrade. We want the top-tier engine, the custom paint job, and the automated revenue right away. This is the exact trap we fall into in our personal lives. We go to the gym for a week, look in the mirror, and feel a sense of failure when our body hasn't completely transformed. We work on a new skill for a month, notice that we aren't experts yet, and assume we are doing something wrong. This is the false belief that growth is a linear, rapid climb, and that any period of stillness or modest beginning is a sign of stagnation. But the truth is exactly the opposite. In the simulator, if you don't learn how to handle a basic delivery, how to navigate tight roundabouts, or how to manage your fuel on a short haul, you will completely ruin a massive vehicle later on. The most profound, enduring growth that human beings are capable of experiencing does not happen in a sudden leap. It happens in the quiet, invisible spaces where you are simply doing the basic work over and over again, far away from any spotlight. To truly understand growth, we have to dismantle the illusion of speed. Speed is a metric of mechanics, not of biology or human character. When we demand instant progress from ourselves, we are treating our minds like machines that can be overclocked for higher output. But we are organic entities, and organic growth requires a completely different relationship with time. It requires us to step away from the relentless demand for immediate proof and step into the realm of patience, consistency, and quiet cultivation. 2. The psychology of the dopamine loop. To understand why we fall into this trap so easily, we have to look at how our modern environment interacts with our brains. We are currently living through a historical anomaly where we have access to unprecedented levels of instant gratification. With a swipe of a finger, we can get food delivered, purchase an item, or receive hundreds of notifications that validate our social standing. This constant stream of instant feedback releases dopamine, the neurotransmitter responsible for motivation and pleasure. Because our daily technology has trained our brains to expect a reward within seconds of taking an action, we naturally carry that expectation over into our long-term goals. When we begin a new journey, whether it is learning an instrument, healing from emotional trauma, or building a career, our brain expects the same fast dopamine loop. We want the action to lead immediately to the reward. But real life doesn't have an algorithm. Real growth operates on a massive delay. In Euro Truck Simulator 2, there is no fast travel button to instantly complete a delivery. If you take a job from Amsterdam to Berlin, you have to actually drive those kilometers. You have to sit in the cab, watch the asphalt roll by, and manage the long stretches of quiet highway. If your brain is constantly screaming for an immediate reward, you will get frustrated within the first 10 minutes, crash into a guardrail, and quit. Real life works the exact same way. When the reward doesn't come immediately, a psychological friction occurs. We interpret the lack of immediate feedback as evidence of our own incompetence. To break free from this trap, we have to learn to find satisfaction not in the ultimate reward, but in the quiet execution of the daily task itself. 3. The law of invisible accumulation. Think for a moment about how an empire is actually built. In the simulator, your empire grows through the slow, almost invisible accumulation of money, experience points, and trust. For the longest time, it feels like you are making absolutely no progress. You complete a long, grueling drive through heavy rain, park the trailer perfectly, and receive a modest payout. Your bank account ticks up slightly, but you are still nowhere near buying your next garage or hiring your first driver. To an outside observer watching you stare at the virtual road for hours, it looks like a complete waste of time. It looks like you are standing still. But human progress follows the law of invisible accumulation. The vast majority of your growth happens beneath the surface, where no one else can see it. Think of it like a Chinese bamboo tree. For the first 4 years, the farmer waters the ground daily, but nothing breaks through the soil. Then, in the 5th year, it shoots up 90 feet in 6 weeks. The tree didn't grow 90 feet in 6 weeks. It took 5 years of quiet, subterranean work to build an intricate root system capable of supporting that massive height. When you are studying, practicing, or working on your character without any external validation, you are building your root system. You are laying down the pavement. If a massive trucking company were handed to you on day one, you wouldn't know how to manage the logistics, the maintenance, or the finances, and the whole operation would collapse. The quiet periods are not a waste of time. They are a structural prerequisite for your future stability. The halfway mark, checking the gauges. Look at the GPS right now. We have officially hit the halfway mark of our journey today. If you have reached this part of the video, it means you possess a level of patience that most people in this fast-paced world lack. You are willing to sit through the quiet miles. If this dose of therapy is bringing you value, take a quick second to show some love to our channel in the form of likes and subscribes. It helps keep this rig moving forward, and it helps expand our empire here at Uncharted Therapy. Let's keep driving. 4. The danger of constant comparison. Now, as we push forward into the second half of this haul, we have to confront our 4th major point, the danger of constant comparison. One of the primary reasons we feel so anxious about our pace of progress is that we are constantly comparing our internal reality with everyone else's external highlight reel. When you look at social media, you see the product launch, the promotion, and the sudden wealth. It creates a distorted perception of reality where it seems like everyone else is flying forward while you are stuck at a red light. Imagine playing Euro Truck Simulator 2 while constantly looking at screenshots of players who have logged thousands of hours, owning 50 fully upgraded garages and hundreds of drivers. If you constantly compare your single, basic truck to their massive corporate empire, you will immediately lose the joy of the game. You will start rushing your deliveries, speeding through speed traps, damaging your cargo, and taking massive financial penalties just trying to force a result that takes time to earn naturally. Comparison is an unfair math problem. You are comparing your messy, behind-the-scenes footage, complete with your doubts, your wrong turns, and your fatigue, with another person's highly curated final cut. When you allow comparison to dictate your speed, you lose your internal compass. You begin chasing goals that aren't even yours, simply because they bring quick validation. Your journey is a slow, deliberate unfolding of your own potential, and the only timeline that matters is your own. 5. The beauty of the plateau. In any pursuit of mastery, you will eventually encounter a plateau. A plateau is a long stretch of time where, despite your best efforts, your performance or results remain completely flat. You are putting in the work, but you are no longer seeing the rapid improvements you experienced when you first started. To the modern mind, the plateau is a terrifying place that feels like a dead end. Think of the plateau like those long, straight stretches of European highway in the dead of night. The scenery doesn't change. The road looks identical for miles. There are no sudden milestones, no new cities discovered, and no immediate rewards. It is just you, the hum of the engine, and the white lines on the asphalt. This is where most people quit. They get bored because the initial novelty has worn off, and they mistake the lack of drama for a lack of progress. But the plateau is actually where mastery is forged. It is a period of consolidation. It is the time when your brain and body are integrating the skills you have learned, turning conscious efforts into deeply ingrained habits. In the simulator, these long, uneventful drives are exactly how you build the capital to buy your next garage. In life, if you can learn to love the plateau, if you can find peace in the quiet repetition of the work when there is no applause, you become virtually unstoppable. Progress will eventually break through, but only if you have the patience to stay the course when the path feels completely flat. 6. Rewriting the definition of success. To escape the trap of instant progress, we must fundamentally redefine what success looks like on a daily basis. If your definition of a successful day requires a major breakthrough or a massive win, you are setting yourself up for chronic frustration. You will spend 99% of your time feeling like a failure, waiting for the 1% of the time when you actually hit a milestone. In the trucking simulator, you cannot define a successful moment only by the exact second the cargo is delivered and the contract is signed. If you do, the hours of driving that preceded it feel like empty, annoying obstacles. Instead, you have to find a sense of achievement in the driving itself, in maintaining your lane, maintaining your speed, managing your fatigue meters, and navigating the shifting weather. Success becomes about execution, not just completion. We need to shift our personal definition of success from outcomes to inputs. A successful day is not one where you achieved your ultimate goal. It is one where you showed up and honored the process. Did you read a few pages? Did you practice your craft? Did you choose patience over frustration? Did you take one small step, however quiet and unnoticed, in the direction of the person you want to become? When you fall in love with the inputs, the outcomes take care of themselves. 7. The power of the minimal step. When we feel stuck or overwhelmed by the lack of progress, our instinct is often to try and make a massive, sweeping change. We decide we are going to completely overhaul our lives overnight, setting unsustainable goals that inevitably lead to burnout within a few days. This is a direct manifestation of our impatience. We want to make up for lost time by accelerating to a dangerous speed. Think about hauling a 40-ton trailer up a steep alpine incline in Euro Truck Simulator 2. If you try to force the truck into the highest gear immediately from a dead stop, the engine will stall, or the tires will just spin helplessly on the pavement. You have to drop down into the lowest gear, the smallest, most powerful step, and let the torque slowly build momentum. You might be moving slowly, but you are moving surely. The antidote to paralysis is the power of the minimal step. When progress feels distant, look for the smallest possible action you can take that moves you forward, an action so small that it requires almost no willpower to execute. If you cannot ride for an hour, ride for 2 minutes. If you cannot do a full workout, do 5 push-ups. These micro actions preserve your momentum and keep your habits alive. They send a powerful signal to your subconscious mind: you are still moving forward, no matter how small the gear may be. 8. Cultivating a quiet mind. True, lasting growth requires a specific kind of internal environment. It cannot flourish in a mind that is constantly frantic, distracted, and demanding immediate gratification. It requires a quiet mind, an internal landscape characterized by space, stillness, and a deep acceptance of the present moment. When you drive long distances in the simulator, there is a specific mental state that takes over. It is a form of active meditation. The radio might be playing softly in the background, the windshield wipers are clicking rhythmically against the glass, and your focus is entirely locked onto the road ahead. You aren't checking your phone every 30 seconds, you aren't frantically looking for a shortcut. You are completely present in the journey. Cultivating a quiet mind means learning to tolerate discomfort and boredom without needing to instantly distract yourself. In our modern culture, we have completely eliminated silence, pulling out our phones the moment we have a free second. But it is precisely in those empty voids that our minds process our experiences, generate creative insights, and build emotional resilience. When you intentionally slow down your mind, your perception of time changes, and you realize that the frantic rush you felt was entirely self-imposed. 9. Trusting the horizon. There is a profound peace that comes with trusting the horizon. When you are driving through a dense, foggy night in the simulator, your headlights can only illuminate a few meters of asphalt directly in front of you. You cannot see the city walls of your destination. You cannot even see the next exit. If you relied solely on your immediate vision, you might conclude that the road goes nowhere and stop the truck out of fear. But you don't stop. You trust the navigation system, you trust the road signs, and you keep moving forward, knowing the highway will unfold as you advance. You must become the captain of your own life in this regard. You must develop a deep, unshakable trust in the direction you have chosen, even when the horizon looks completely empty. This trust is not blind optimism, it is a logical conclusion based on the laws of consistency. No effort is ever truly lost. Every single action you take, every correct turn you make, and every moment of patience you practice is a seed planted in the soil of your future empire. The trap of instant progress wants you to turn the ship around or abandon the truck because you can't see the shore or the city lights yet. It wants you to believe that the journey is pointless unless you can see the destination right now. But the most beautiful destinations are always the ones that require us to navigate through the long, quiet darkness of the open highway. Conclusion: the summary of the long haul. As we pull into the garage and shut down the engine on part 7 of our empire build, let's take a look back at the roadmap we traveled today. True growth is never an overnight miracle. It is a long haul that requires us to understand and master 9 fundamental principles. We began with point number 1, the illusion of the starting line, realizing that humble, quiet beginnings are essential. We moved to point number 2, the psychology of the dopamine loop, learning to resist the modern demand for instant gratification. We witnessed point number 3, the law of invisible accumulation, remembering that the most critical foundations are built entirely beneath the surface. We confronted point number 4, the danger of constant comparison, vowing to stop measuring our internal progress against someone else's highlight reel. We embraced point number 5, the beauty of the plateau, recognizing those long stretches of highway as times of consolidation rather than stagnation. We learned point number 6, rewriting the definition of success, shifting our focus entirely from distant outcomes to daily inputs. We unlocked point number 7, the power of the minimal step, using low gears to build unstoppable momentum when we feel paralyzed. We focused on point number 8, cultivating a quiet mind, finding peace in the silent and distracted spaces of our lives. And finally, we resolved to follow point number 9, trusting the horizon, moving forward even when the headlights only show us the next few feet of the road. Just like building a vast transportation empire in Euro Truck Simulator 2, your life's work cannot be rushed, automated, or bypassed. Every massive empire is just a collection of singular, safely delivered hauls. Take a deep breath and let go of the self-imposed urgency to have everything figured out by tomorrow morning. Thank you for joining me for today's dose of therapy on Uncharted Therapy. Trust the road, maintain your lane, honor the quiet miles, and let yourself grow at the beautiful, patient pace you were always meant to. See you in the next haul.